I hope that at this time of required physical distancing, that you're growing closer to the Lord and growing spiritually. I also hope that you're able to get outside and do some individual activity. Last semester at Refuge, we talked about the book of Colossians, which is a letter written by Paul and Timothy to the church at Colossae. Epaphras had founded the church at Colossae, and what Paul and Timothy knew about those folks was based on what he learned from Epaphras. And in chapter 1, as we pick up, he says, "For this reason, since the day we heard about you, we have not stopped praying for you and asking God to fill you with the knowledge of his will through all spiritual wisdom and understanding. And we pray this in order that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and may please him in every way, bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience, and joyfully giving thanks to the Father, who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of the saints in the kingdom of light." You know, I think most of the time in this day and age, when we hear the phrase kingdom of light, we might think about heaven, but that's not what Paul's talking about. Paul's talking about the kingdom that has come through Jesus. Jesus prayed with his disciples, thy will be done, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And Jesus' coming was the coming of this new kingdom and the opportunity for God's will to carry throughout the earth and for it to take rule over our own lives and our own hearts. And so when Paul prays for them about that inheritance, he's talking about right now. He's talking about what's happening in their lives now. And I think a key thing in that passage is this endurance and patience, this prayer for the knowledge of God to grow, and for endurance and patience to be one of the results of that. I think that this is a time when we can really take that to heart, when both we have the opportunity to spend more time in God's presence, meditating on his word, in prayer, in conversations with others about what it means to follow him, about what he has done in our own lives and how that's playing out, and then the ability to be used by God in the lives of others as encouragers, as servants, even though the type of service we're doing may look a little bit different right now. So I hope that you are able to spend time outdoors exercising individually while keeping that adequate physical distance. I definitely advise that we all do that. And I really ask that you would turn your thoughts to God, make space, schedule out time to spend time with him, to dwell on his word, to let him speak to you through it, and to allow him to build up that endurance and patience, the character that endurance and patience builds, as Paul writes to the church at Rome. And this life that we are living now that looks a little bit different than it did a short time ago can be something that God will use in a powerful way if we're prepared for it and we let him do it. That's the one.